A quick announcement, Marijuana Nation. I'm going to be posting the show a little later than normal for the next week or so, starting on Monday, because I have to go and teach a bunch of second graders how to play Ultimate Frisbee. One of the big things that I do when I'm not covering legal marijuana news is coach Ultimate Frisbee. And every spring and fall, I spend some time teaching kids how to play Ultimate in their gym classes. This season, I'm spending just a week going into teach, so all of next week we'll have a later publishing schedule for the podcast, though our 7 a.m. newsfeed email newsletter will continue to go out on schedule. A reminder that you can subscribe to our newsfeed email newsletter over at mjtodaymedia.com/newsfeed. That's mjtodaymedia.com/newsfeed. This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by the good folks over at Ease, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. Now that Ease is active in Los Angeles, if you live in LA and are ordering during the hours which cannabis delivery is allowed, then you're just minutes from getting your order in over at ease.com. With most deliveries happening in less than an hour, Ease makes it really easy to get top quality legal marijuana products at great prices fast. Swing over to ease.com to see if your part of California is allowing for legal marijuana delivery, and then if so, to start browsing their extensive array of available products, all of which meet every relevant California rule and regulation for cannabis, from cultivation and testing through packaging and labeling. One more time, that's ease.com, which is spelled E-A-Z-E, ease.com. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Friday, April 27th, 2018, and you're tuned in to episode 478 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Leading off this week's final top story is our buddy Tom Angel, who has a good piece up at Forbes about a big move made this week in the U.S. Senate by Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to tie his hemp legalization bill to a piece of farm legislation that is expected to gain passage later next month. The broader farm bill comes up for passage by Congress on a regular basis and lays out certain agricultural and farming policies. That Senate Leader McConnell is working to attach his bill, which effectively decouples industrial hemp from being categorized with medical and adult use marijuana, is hugely significant, as the Farm Bill is considered must-pass legislation. You can click over to Tom's piece on Forbes for more details on Senator McConnell's hemp bill. The Hill has the story of Michigan officially certifying a ballot measure to legalize the adult use of marijuana. As I've reported on recently, activists in Michigan were able to submit around 277,000 valid signatures in support of their adult use marijuana measure, well above the 252,523 needed to qualify. Yesterday, the Michigan State Board of Canvassers agreed to officially certify the question, which would open up possessing cannabis to adults ages 21 years and older, as well as allowing home grow and eventually the creation of a commercial sales system. An excise tax of 10% would be levied on top of a 6% sales tax. This one is given some boosted significance due to how large and developed the state's medical marijuana market is. Michigan is currently in the midst of rolling out a more regulated and expanded medical program that will be up and running nicely right around the time the state could be ready to shift into allowing adult use sales as well. Congrats to everyone in Michigan for making this one happen. Hopping one state over from Michigan to Illinois, we have good news out of the state Senate of the passage of a piece of legislation allowing people with prescriptions for opioid-based painkillers to automatically qualify for medical marijuana. If passed, the bill would allow any patient with a valid prescription for opioid painkillers to go right into a dispensary to get medical cannabis. They would be issued a temporary card valid for 12 months, after which they'd be welcome to apply for permanent placement in the ranks of medical marijuana patients. The bill passed the state Senate on a strong vote of 44-6 and now heads to the Illinois State House for deliberations there. We'll keep an eye on this one. This is a really good idea that could provide a policy template for other states to use, so we'll also keep our fingers crossed. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out in headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Ease, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. Ease.com is the place you want to go when you're looking for quality, legal California marijuana products that are fully tested and properly labeled and packaged, all delivered right to your door. Ease is super strict about staying in compliance with all of California's state cannabis laws and extend that diligence to all of their partner dispensaries. The Ease compliance team acts almost as compliance consultants with their partner dispensaries, which they appreciate for the help it gives them in staying in line with all the right rules and regulations. What that translates to for Ease customers is a better buying experience and the trust that they're getting exactly what they're paying for. That's a nice feeling to have in today's Golden State legal cannabis industry, which still has touches of early day chaos swirling around. Ease is like a stable island of compliance in that chaos, which makes it an easy decision to open up ease.com to place your order for legal marijuana products in California. That's ease.com, which is spelled E-A-Z-E. Thanks to everyone over at Ease for all the support. All right, time for the Blitz. Scooping up his second story today out of a total of 3, Tom Angel, this time over at his site Marijuana Moment, nicely covers the second day of testimony given to a U.S. House subcommittee by Attorney General Jeff Sessions. In this latest dispatch, Attorney General Sessions said that while the Department of Justice is mostly focused on drugs like heroin, opioid-based prescription medicines, methamphetamine, and cocaine, he nonetheless was unable to provide any kind of assurances that states that legalize cannabis won't face consequences from breaking federal law, which we all know does not look kindly on marijuana. Pop over to Marijuana Moments if you'd like to read the full quotes from Sessions' day. A new poll out of Quinnipiac University finds that a large majority of Americans think that states should be free to experiment with legalizing marijuana. The new poll, which was released yesterday, found that 74% of those surveyed are in favor of legislation protecting state legal cannabis, with 20% opposed and 6% unsure. The poll included a total of 11 marijuana-related questions, including one that found that 63% were in favor of legalizing adult use entirely, and 93% were in support of allowing medical use. This is a good one to click over to for the other questions and their results. Randy Drusen over at Leafly has a great piece up about the just-announced details for how the Canadian province of British Columbia plans to implement adult-use marijuana later this year. This is another story I've covered in recent days, with the BC provincial legislation having less than 2 weeks left in their legislative session to pass cannabis law. This is another one you should open up to read in full, as there is a lot of detail in the proposal released yesterday. Some of the top-of-the-line items include the minimum age of 19 to buy and use, as well as the plan to distribute legal cannabis through a chain of government-run stores to be called BC Cannabis Stores. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Tom Angel over at Marijuana Moment is back with his third headline of the day, with a story up about some moves within the Vermont state legislature to expand the adult use legalization system recently passed into law. Just a few months after Vermont lawmakers passed a limited measure giving adults of age the right to grow, possess, share, and consume cannabis, but not sell or buy, a bipartisan group of legislators is pushing a plan setting up a commercial sales system. Tom's reporting that there is resistance to the idea by Vermont's governor and Speaker of the House, so we'll keep an eye on this one as it progresses. Echoing our third top story today is a headline out of Colorado as state lawmakers there start deliberating a proposed measure allowing doctors to recommend medical marijuana to patients to treat acute short-term pain. The bill's supporters say that allowing for people living with short-term pain to use medical marijuana would reduce the number of prescriptions written for addictive opioid-based painkillers. Colorado Senate Bill 12-261 is just going into committee now, so we'll keep this one on our 2-track list. After New Jersey elected as its governor legal cannabis supporter Phil Murphy just after the turn of the new year, there was a lot of talk about the state moving swiftly to legalize adult use marijuana. NJ.com looks at some of the reasons why the bold talk from Governor Murphy and other legalization supporters hasn't yet translated to major changes in the realm of adult use legalization. In a nutshell, it all boils down to the messiness of politics. You can open up NJ.com to find a link to their new premium newsletter, NJ Cannabis Insider, if you're particularly interested in Garden State cannabis politics. And finally for today, we have a nice hopeful piece up at Leafly about a pro-cannabis Maryland woman who's running to unseat incumbent Congressman Andy Harris, a Republican with a long and storied history of being on the wrong side of marijuana and drug policy reform. Congressman Harris actively works on behalf of prohibitionist groups and is infamous in the city of Washington, D.C. for legislation he pushed that denied D.C. the right to implement more progressive cannabis regulations. Maryland resident Allison Galbraith made her decision to run against Congressman Harris after the good congressman told her that he didn't think most people minded if women had to pay more for their health care than men. Maryland's 1st District, which Congressman Harris currently represents, leans heavily Republican, and Ms. Galbraith faces strong competition in her Democratic primary, so we'll follow along to see how things roll out. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again Monday morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at MJ Today Daily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says, Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.